Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of the Toradora Discord servers podcast. I'm your host, Dark Trennow, and unfortunately Lost couldn't be with me today to record this, so I'm flying solo, but that's okay because we have a special guest, the third member of the production team here for the podcast, CP Man V2.
Yeah, that's right. This is CP Man version 2, and I'm more than happy to be here with you, Dark, and I'm just happy to be involved in general.
Yeah, dude, I'm thrilled to have you on here, especially and have you. More importantly, I'm thrilled to have you work with me on this because, like I said in episode 2, the response to these have been overwhelmingly positive, and we can't thank you guys enough. And so having I'm so glad that we're doing this as because this is the servers podcast.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is and so the more people we have involved who want to be involved, who want to be on the air, that's just awesome. That's better than awesome. You guys have probably know this now just from if you've been watching. You probably already been in contact with me or Lost or CP Man. If you want to be on one of these, just DM me, at me, DM Lost, DM CP, at them. We already have a lot of people interested, so we're getting everybody in.
That's
We're
a
trying to get
wonderful
everyone
thing.
their own episodes, and we
Absolute
want to.
wonderful thing.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. You said it perfectly. It's an absolute wonderful thing, and of course we want to do as many people as we can in their individuals, but we want to get them in groups too. We want to get good special topics going for that episode, and have a good group of people just talk about it, hang out, have fun. That's what our I think our unofficial motto has been is talk, hang out, have fun.
Hey, that's not a bad motto at all, really. I'm more than happy if that would be the motto. That's incredible.
So you are the third member of our production team here.
Yes, yes.
So, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit, the same few easy questions I give everybody, but we gotta know, especially people who are just joining. How did you get into Toradora?
All right, well, so I don't want to get depressing here. I really don't want to be depressing with
We went
my
from
podcast.
all that joy to, hey,
Yeah.
don't get depressed.
But, so, here's the thing. 2 months ago, or early April of 2018, because obviously recording in June, early April 2018, for the first time in my life, I'm 22, I've lived an alright life so far, obviously not super long, but for the first time in my life back in April, I had a bout of depression that I knew was like an actual bout of depression. It wasn't like the usual, I'm so depressed, just that somebody says because they're sad or some shit. I was, what I knew was the difference for me was, I like food a lot. I really like eating. Eating's good stuff, I don't know if you like food, Dark, but I like food. And, yeah,
I eat a lot of Red Baron frozen pizzas. Oh.
yeah, I mean, it's good pizza. But, I noticed that when I had went 3 days in a row without eating anything and didn't care or even really realize it, that's when I knew I had a problem. But during that time is when I finally dived headfirst into the bottomless pit that is watching anime. So it's really only been 2 months that I've been watching anime the way I have.
The truth?
Yeah. And as a kid, I'd watched the stuff you'd find on TV, but I didn't really go out of my way to watch things online, particularly, or stuff that was seasonal or things like that. But I ended up watching Toradora. I watched, well, you know what, I'll tell you right now, I can pull it up because I saved a file on my computer called the Great Anime Binge of April 2018, which
so
was basically, which was basically during my depressive 2 weeks, that I knocked out 10 full anime, and I'd watched 10 of them, and the 8th one I watched was Toradora, and I watched it immediately after I watched Golden Time, and that's not usually a way people tend to, watch those two particular anime if they do happen to watch both. Normally you'd see Toradora first and then Golden Time.
And
They're
that's
both by the
because,
same author,
there's
and one came first.
Yeah, there's a relation here, and it's the same author, you say?
Yeah, it's the same author. She wrote them both, and Toradora came out, I believe, 6 years before Golden Time did. So most people saw Toradora before they saw Golden Time, but that's just not the way it worked out for me. But it was the 8th anime that I watched, and it just happened. A friend of mine who's a big anime fan, he had told me a long time ago to watch Toradora. And, whatever, I was like, I'm not really planning to watch really any anime, but I watched Golden Time. I was on my anime list. Toradora was the #1 recommended anime to watch after watching Golden Time. So, I went and I watched it, and that was that.
That's a good story. That's a good
No,
story.
thanks. I'm glad it wasn't too depressing.
I'm glad that like Toradora was a good thing for you at that dark time.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Um,
trust me.
yeah. It's nice when you are feeling real, not just down, but like much much worse than down. Um, where it's really like this is the depths of life,
Mm-hmm.
and not like the depths of you experiencing life to its best, but like the depths of like, oh crap, this is it's at its worst.
Yeah.
It's
It
nice
was
when you
rough.
have a good world to get immersed in and forget about the world you actually live in, even if it's just for a little bit.
Hey, and and thankfully, when I watched those anime, I was able to bang out quite a few good ones in a row, which really helped because, I'm not the biggest Mr. Emotional guy out there, but like Toradora brought me to tears at
It's a
the end.
happy story.
Yeah, like those last few episodes, I like. You want to talk about getting into a fight with a heavyweight champ in boxing? Well, I feel like this made me cry more than any punch from a freaking boxer would have. It really rocked me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good though. I was very happy it did because you know what?
Oh yeah.
I needed to get my emotions out at that point with the way I was feeling. So it helped out more than just giving me something good to watch.
So we've talked about how you found the anime. How'd you find the server? Because that's
Uh,
usually the big two questions. Like, how'd you find the show we're all here to talk about, and how did you find us?
I just went on the Reddit the day I finished the anime. I always do that when I finish anime. I just go to the Reddit real quick to see.
Mm-hmm.
Usually there's always a post of like a summary or an overview or something like that. Or if an anime I watched did not cover all of its source material, like a manga or a light novel, I like to go check it out because generally a subreddit will have a pinned post with the stuff you might not have seen in the anime. And I just went to the Toradora subreddit just to check it out, and I saw the Discord. I don't think I joined it the first time I went to the subreddit. I think I went there 2 or 3 more times afterward, just looking at the pictures that would be posted, like the daily Taigas and all that. And I just happened to go there one day. And, I joined it. I didn't say anything for like a week or two, and then I eventually did. If you recall, my first interactions I ever had in the server was I joined a apparently rare voice chat, and it was you and
Yes.
Joe talking.
This
And
was in April, I think.
it might have been like late April, early May, or something.
Something like that, because I hadn't been in the server very long myself, and I'm one of the rare few who didn't find it through Reddit. And I remember seeing the voice channels, but we never used them even when we were playing games together. And then the way Smiling Joe 125 told me was that
Yeah, it was.
there's the joke is that like you got to be peer pressured into joining into the
Yeah.
voice chat by the others
I've
who
noticed.
already took the daring bold to get in there. I do remember though, because it was that night. I was actually at one point I left that voice chat because I was trying to watch this one stream and my brain couldn't coordinate 2 different conversations at once.
Oh no, I understand.
And then I came back. But I remember we had a lot of fun in that voice chat, and I do remember because you have a very distinctive voice.
Oh well, thank you.
Very recognizable, and so I was kind of like, oh yeah, I remember CP Man. And I think I also remember around that time, I guess I would think it'd be around that time was we introduced you to anime music quiz.
Yeah, and I have not stopped playing since that happened. And thankfully, I don't suck like I used to.
Stop. You have just not stopped playing, but like you've just taken off with this thing. Like you invite me to a game, and it's like, oh my gosh, this dude is like 10 levels ahead of me now.
And the funny thing
And
is,
he
like,
started playing after me.
yeah, I've only watched like I think on my list of anime that I've finished, I think it's like 35 or 40.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So I only have like so many songs to work with myself, but I've played enough at this point, and I just have heard enough anime music because I've entered such a terrible phase in my life of weebdom where all I listen to is anime music.
This is a no weeb server.
Like, all I listen to is weeb music if I'm not listening to the radio, So I listen to so much, and especially for shows that I haven't even watched. I like to sit down and listen to music too. Get myself familiarized, because there's a lot in anime openings more than just the music. It could really show me a show that I could be interested in. Like, I can't tell you how many anime I've ended up watching just because it had a cool OP. or I've listened to it enough where it got me like, yeah, you know what? Every time I watch this or listen to this, it makes me want to watch the show.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
which is
anime.
what a good anime OP is supposed to do.
Oh, exactly. It's something I like is like, okay, the theme song and like credits, or not credits so much, but the actors' names that you see pop up in front of most like TV shows are just there because it's tradition at this point. It's just in an hour block, 30 minutes is show, and of that 30 minutes,
Yeah,
a minute and a half is devoted to that.
You're padding it a little bit, yes.
But in anime, the OP is just like, oh no, that's a big deal. You gotta show everything this series can bring to the table, and you better have a damn good song
without
with
a doubt.
it too. Because if people like that song, they will never forget it.
No, and you know what, and that's a big part of just the anime industry in general, is that these studios that the music studios will put their best songs on here to help sell their records and sell the singles of the song, because they know that they're going to be so widely watched and most likely appreciated even more thanks to the visuals accompanying it from the anime.
Right.
So that's why you see so many like really good popular anime OPs come. It's a big deal about it.
Another cool thing is so many of these are specifically made for that anime.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's
Steins
very
Gate,
interesting.
both of those are like that. That's exclusive to Steins Gate, and like that's really cool that they actually learned the show well enough. Because when you look at the lyrics and everything, translations and all that, it's kind of like, wow, this actually correlates to the show.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and they keep working with that particular singer as well in a lot of the Steins Gate songs, not only in the anime but in the visual novels as well. And it's very impressive that they coordinated with her so much, and she seems to have such a grasp on on having a good performance when singing these songs and whatnot. It's impressive.
I agree. So, keeping up the talk here about Toradora specifically, who's your favorite character? We have a running tally of this. Taiga's in the lead so far, two against everybody. She's the only one who's received votes so far, actually. So, how about you?
See, it's rough because I also love Taiga, but you know what? Honestly, I think to me the character I like the most is probably Ryuji.
Okay.
While Taiga is best girl for me, I do really like Ryuji as a character. I think he's extremely interesting. I think he's very relatable. It's very interesting to watch his maturation process as things go on in the anime.
Characters develop.
Yeah, his development. And watching him, fall in love with Taiga, watching him try to do what's best for her, but at times making mistakes and projecting his own, desires and whatnot. It's really interesting because you wouldn't think that you'd get such a well-written main character in a rom-com, but you really do. Ryuji's really well-written, and he's just in general a really good character, and I really like him.
Likable.
Yeah, I agree entirely. And like I said, Taiga is my favorite girl in the show, but she's only my second favorite character behind Ryuji.
I'm just glad that we have someone else on the board.
There you go. See, if you were asking me who the best girl was, well, I would have just been piling on.
Later down the line, I do want to have an episode where it's just like, all right, let's argue for like 45 minutes to an hour purely about the three girls in the show.
Oh,
and who we think about best is, and just watch Taiga, Minori, and Ami fans just rip into each other, and then it's just like,
Yeah, that sounds like you're asking to open up a can of worms.
See what people say after the fact. Now, where does Tora stack up against your other favorite anime?
Toradora is my third favorite anime of all time.
I like the specificity of that.
Yeah, it is my third favorite anime of all time. For a while, it was my number 2 for a couple weeks, I guess. Really used the way of putting it. It feels like it was for a while, but it was only a couple weeks. Toradora is my third favorite anime. I have a very, very, very special place in my heart for Oreguru, which I know you spoke with Loss about. I absolutely
come up once, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love Oreguru to death, and I'll tell you what, right now, my favorite anime in general is Steins Gate. And
really?
Yeah, and
I mean, I've seen it. It's great. I've seen the original Steins Gate, not the Steins Gate Zero.
I've been watching Zero
it's
too, and
great.
It's been I
didn't think it was all-time favorite material for you because you've seen so much.
I've seen and it's terrible because I've pumped so much watching into 2 months, but that just goes to show you how much free time I have. But I absolutely adore Steins Gate. I'm a big time travel mark. Like, that is my favorite piece of science fiction, and they did it so perfectly, just so well, that I couldn't sit down and really say to myself, no, this isn't my favorite anime. But I'll tell you what, right now, I love Steins Gate, and I love Oreguru so much, but neither one of those shows has made me feel the way Toradora has. So, it's right there, too.
So, I was going to answer my next question, which was like, what makes it your all-time favorite? It's like, oh no, the time travel is just so perfectly executed.
It's so good, man.
And I was surprised with Steins Gate how self-contained it was.
Yeah, I think that's what impressed me too.
3 seasons of stuff, but it's like, oh no, Steins Gate went in here with exactly this, knowing what kind of story it wanted to tell.
2-core anime. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
They knew exactly what they were doing. And, I mean, that it helps when you're based off of essentially a book. But, it was so impressively done with its pacing, and its delivery, and everything. I love Steins Gate Zero as well. Like I said, I've been watching that. And I think, like, when it's all said and done, I might even like Steins Gate Zero a little bit more than Steins Gate. I know that might be a little controversial of an opinion with a lot of people, but I'm going to wait. I'm not going to say that now, because it's only halfway through the show. But I love it. It's so good. But, Steins Gate does an amazing job at its storytelling prowess, and to tell you the truth, I just don't think I've ever seen such a great work of science fiction quite like Steins Gate.
Mm-hmm. So, it sounds like to me you got into anime just a couple months ago.
To the degree that I'm at, yeah.
Now, and you already touched on this briefly. What was like your origin of anime?
All right, I have 2 answers for that.
Okay.
2, because I feel like it's fair to give the 2 answers. Because I'm going to give you one with like the origin of me just watching anime in general, and I'm going to give you one for the origin of me watching things that I couldn't get on my television. So when I was 5 years old, or 6 years old, when I was 6 years old, it was 2002. I was 6 years old, and I had Cartoon Network, obviously. I had cable. I watched Cartoon Network a lot, and I watched Toonami when it would come on. And this is the most American answer I can give you when it comes to why did you start watching anime. But I watched Toonami, and I fell in love with Dragon Ball Z. and I watched Dragon Ball Z every day after school.
After Dragon Ball, it was Naruto.
No, actually. I didn't
totally
get into Naruto at all. I don't like Naruto, to tell you the truth. The first, 50 episodes or so I could sit down and probably enjoy myself, but right after, that fight with Gaara, I click out. I'm done. Mm-hmm. I can't anymore. It's too much filler. There's too much shit going on. I can't. It's just too much for me. It's too grandiose for CP Band, which, I mean, that might sound pathetic, but it just is. But I watched Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. I was a big fan as a kid of Kids WB, which was the Saturday morning block over on WB, which was a network, and now it's called Pix across the United States. But I watched Kids WB, and Pokemon was on there, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was on there. I watched those along with the other cartoons like X-Men Evolution, Jackie Chan Adventures. That's my favorite cartoon ever, by the way, Jackie Chan Adventures. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, I would just watch those basic anime that a lot of people started with in the early 2000s. No, I didn't have Sailor Moon or anything thrown in there, but I was all about the action as a little kid. But that's where it all started. And then I want to say it was 2012 or something. I was 16, I'm pretty sure. It was 2012. I was on my Xbox, and I went on Crackle to just find something to watch.
Oh, Crackle, yeah.
Yeah, and
relic of another age.
I know. Yeah, right? I don't know what I was thinking to myself, but I saw this anime, and this is another one that you talked to Loss about, but he and I are going to have differing opinions on it, while also having very similar opinions on it. We both actually have very similar opinions on the girls in the show, but we have very separate opinions about how we take the series. I saw this show, and I was like, what the hell is this? My little sister can't be this cute. What? And I looked, and I watched Oremo. Mm-hmm. And, 16-year-old me sitting here going, what the fuck is this? And I turn it on, and I look, and I'm like, okay, this is colorful and all, but I'm kind of weirded out about the way this sister and brother are acting. And I'm watching it, and I see Kuroneko. who me and Loss very much both agree with each other to be an outstanding waifu and the best girl on that show.
Okay.
And I instantly was like, oh, I was like, yeah, that's my thing right there, you know. And then I just would watch more, and then this first season ended, and it kind of ended a little like, you know, not perfectly, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Less than what you expected.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, whatever. I don't like Kirito. She's a bitch. I really hope that this doesn't, you know, I hope this isn't the thing that we're going toward. But stupid me should have probably realized that the anime called My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute is probably going to result in the route ending with the fucking little sister. But, okay, sorry. Sorry, excuse my language. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little heated. But a couple years later, Oremo 2 aired, and I got my absolute heart broken, and that's what made me hate the show. Was the second season. The OVAs are the only thing I really like about it, and that's because they focus on Kuroneko. But the second season just killed it for me. I know. Lost said he still likes the show. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate Kirito. I think it's some of the worst crap I've ever seen. I can't take it anymore. It produced an amazing character. It produced an amazing character in Kuroneko, but I hate Oremo with a passion, like a lot of other people. But, see, the thing is, I might hate Oremo, but I love Aramanga Sensei. So,
okay. And
there you go.
What's the relation between those two?
They're both made by the same guy, and they're both a very similar plot.
Okay. So, okay. I was gonna ask you what kind of anime you didn't like, but I think you made that clear just
no,
now.
I okay, look. You sure you want to ask me that question? Because I can...
You know, here's the thing.
I think you know what I'm going to tell you and say to everybody if I can.
Because every time we get it on AM2, I don't have to know it because you will just blow up the chat with rage incarnate.
Yes.
Almost Doom Guy levels of anger. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's this one. And here's the thing. I could ask you that, or I could just give you your own segment one of these days.
Well, here, I'll make it short and sweet then.
And
I'll make it short and sweet.
You can tell. But go for it. Go for it. This is, like I said, I don't dictate too much about what happens on this.
All right. Let me make this.
I'm just a humble host.
I didn't try, you know.
Go ahead and tell us the name of the classification of fruit which you hate that is shared with an anime.
My least favorite anime of all time, which has turned into just my least favorite genre of all time, is citrus. It aired this year. It aired a couple months ago.
There it is.
It is of the Yuri genre. I hate Yuri anime with a passion. I don't hate people that like Yuri anime. I don't hate lesbians. Okay, I don't hate anything but that genre of anime. It's all fetish bait. It's all shitty, and none of it makes any sense to me. But tell you the truth. Part, I think, of what threw me into my depression in the first place was watching 4 episodes of Citrus in a row, and I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding either, because I felt like atrocious hot garbage after I did that, and I went on this huge Twitter rant, which you can find if you go to CP Man version 2, not V2, CP Man version 2 on Twitter. You can find, going back a couple months, me losing my absolute shit over the end of that show, and I was, as a friend of mine put it, I was 1v1ing Yuri on Twitter that day. But I absolutely hate the genre. I hate citrus, and yeah, I could talk about how much I hate it for like an hour and bury it, so I'm not going to go any more further with it. But if you're interested in sexual assault and making lesbians look bad, the animation, go watch Citrus, please, by all means.
I'm glad that you did tell us, because that was funnier than I expected. I love the ending line there.
God. I am disgusted.
So, since we've talked about anime a bit,
trust me,
what hobbies do you have?
This is where we're gonna.
Because part of these is to get to know you, so other users can learn all about you, and
this is where we get into boring territory. This is where this is where the facade goes away, and we all find out how boring CP Man really is. I love baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan. I love sports in general.
I did not have you pinned for that.
Yeah, I'm a big baseball fan. I'm a big football fan. I absolutely love them both. I watch every season. I watch as much as I can. I'm an avid fantasy football player. I have been for like 7 years now, since high school. Really.
You ever win?
Yeah, I've won a championship twice in a league. I'm the only person to ever win it twice.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
impressive.
I've
I
unfortunately never succeeded in money leagues though. I've lost money and got my money back, but never made any money.
Well, at least
So
you got it back.
yeah, that's true. That happened once. This past year though, I was not so lucky. I lost my $10. But
Oh,
there's always next year. But yeah, I'm a big sports fan. I played basketball in high school. I love basketball.
you
I would
tall?
love to. I'm 6'1", so
Okay.
I'm not super
Reasonable,
tall. I'm like the size of a point guard in the NBA. But when you're playing with normal sized people, I'm on the taller spectrum. But yeah, I have a lot of fun. I played in high school for a year, and I haven't played in a while just because I'm not a big fan of going out and playing alone. And if people aren't around to go play, then it's like whatever. But yeah, I'm a big sports fan. Aside from watching anime, I watch baseball. And eventually I'll watch football when it's on again in the fall. But I also I work in professional wrestling. I am trained to wrestle. I have wrestled
wow.
twice. Yeah, I have had a lot of fun in the professional wrestling business, and it's really cool. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 11. So it's pretty cool. That's definitely something I've always wanted to be a part of. So I'm lucky that I made friends that happen to be professional wrestlers that resulted in me being able to go work for their company.
I never expected you to be in the world of professional to follow it or be in the world of professional sports just because it's an anime server.
Yeah, I mean I get it. I understand.
Not to stereotype, but it's an anime server.
My friend is also
Color me shocked.
my friend is also very very. I mean, he'll never call himself a weeb, but to me, he's some form of one, and he's also a huge baseball fan. So he and I bond over that a lot, which is really cool.
Weeaboos and demons are never honest about what they are until you call them out about it. So
It's true. It's true. But those are just a few of the things. Like I said, I'm a boring freaking guy. All I do is watch and talk about anime and then watch sports. Like
being in the world of professional wrestling might be the most interesting reveal we've had. I mean,
and I love
3
it.
episodes
I love
in,
it.
not even a full 3, but that might be the most interesting. I think it is the most interesting reveal we've had.
Oh, cool. Let's see if I can keep that title. Yeah, everyone else, please be more boring than me.
Well, let's see. Shin will take this as a challenge because I believe he's slated for episode 4, but
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to this. Shin.
I probably won't even finish the introduction. Shin will shout something and be like, "Did that top CP man me too?"
Oh man.
So, okay. This will probably be I think it'll be the last time I bring it up on this, just because it was over a week ago now. But E3 did just happen.
Okay.
What was your favorite presentation out of what you saw? If you watched any of E3.
I watched a little bit of it. Big thing about me that's kind of weird to follow up with what I do like is I don't play a lot of video games. Mm-hmm. I have plenty of free time to do it. I own a Nintendo Switch, and I have multiple games for it. I just don't play it. I just have it, but I don't play it. I'm waiting for a couple things, but Nintendo definitely. That's the system I own. That's what I cared about the most to see some games for. So they won it for me. I'm very.
Did they deliver on that for you? Like
yeah.
They showed the games. You said, "I like what I see."
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super. I'm not the kind of guy that wants to buy everything because I know I can't buy everything. So I only buy things that I know I'm going to get the most out of. I'm definitely buying Smash. I put way too many hours into Smash on my 3DS,
of course.
I'm going to definitely get Smash. I'm a lifetime Pokemon fan. I actually used to be a Pokemon YouTuber. I'm not anymore, but I still know a lot of people within the community. And I'm definitely going to try to get the Pokemon games. I'm not super over the top about it because it's so different from like the main games that they've been putting out for decades, but I'm gonna try to get it. I'm looking forward to Dragon Ball FighterZ. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. Obviously, I talked about it earlier.
28th, right?
28th, yeah, it just got announced for its English release date. I'm really looking forward to getting that. I'm no good at fighting games, but I want to give it a try because I love Dragon Ball. The My Hero Academia game, My Hero Wants Justice. I want to get that. It looks really nice, and I like I said, I'm not super great at fighting games, but that's more like an arena fighting game, so I'd like to give that a shot. And then, of course, I really want to get Steins Gate Elite, because I'll play the visual novel using footage from the frickin' anime. Okay.
Is that getting an English release?
Yes, it is.
Or is that getting a download from the Japanese eShop?
No, it's getting an English physical release.
That is really cool.
I'm really excited.
Really cool, actually. And Steins Gate is the perfect field for a visual novel. I feel like the nature of Steins Gate gives rise to so many options.
It was a visual novel. That's where it originated from.
Oh wow!
It's a visual novel. Yeah. It was a visual novel that got turned into an anime. It's part of the space adventure. I think it's called the Space Adventure series. And it takes place in the same universe as Chaos Head and Chaos Child and Robotics Note. So they were all visual novels, and they all got turned into anime. And it's really cool. And Steins Gate Steins Gate Elite is going to be the original game, but fully animated. It's going to use all the footage from the anime, and all the routes that were in the original game that weren't in the anime are going to be fully animated.
That's so cool. I think I might pick that up myself. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. And the Nintendo Switch version of it comes with a Steins Gate RPG in the style of like a Famicom game. So that's really going to be cool too.
I love little collectible stuff like that.
Collectibles are cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have a lot of them. Like I own one amiibo and I'm staring at him. Dr. Mario is giving me a side eye from my corner of my desk. But I also like collectible things. You know?
I don't have the self-control for amiibo, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 right now. And that's always a collection I'm looking to expand. So
amiibos are cool.
I'm a really big Nintendo fan, so when it comes to Nintendo stuff, it's kind of like, oh, I'm there. You know?
Yeah. And for me with video games, Nintendo's always been the thing I've preferred. I've always had a Nintendo system since I started playing video games. My first ever one was a Game Boy Advance when I was 5, and then that turned into like a GameCube, a DS. I didn't get the Wii. I just wasn't interested in the Wii. That period of time I was playing a 360.
That's the opposite of most people.
Yeah, I just wasn't into it. I was playing the Xbox at that point. But then in like 2013 or something, I got a 3DS, and for the longest time that was the only thing I was playing. And now, of course, I have a Switch. I have a PS3 put away over there, and I still have my Xbox. But I usually just play my Switch if I'm going to play anything. Or, I'll play Anime Music Quiz, just to be quite frank with you. That's like my video game of choice at this point. So, like, I'll go play that anytime I'm freaking bored, man.
I enjoy it too. Like I sit there and just like sometimes I'm like, I need to play around with that before.
And I like to do stupid shit. Like you can make the music go 4 times fast, and it's just stupid. It's fun to sit down and do stupid shit on there. It's great.
The only thing it needs, in my opinion, is a toggle switch, to where if you turn it on, seasons don't count. Like if it's
I see what you mean.
My Hero Academia and it's from the second
season.
But you just
to be fair, they've actually
you still get the points because it's the same show.
That's a bad example because they changed that. You can just type in My Hero Academia and get the points now.
Of course, that'd be the example.
I've noticed that. And they've done it with Dragon Ball Z Kai too. It used to be that you have to type in the final chapters, but now you can just type in DBZ Kai. But I guess they're kind of getting to that. They're kind of starting to take some mercy on people.
And if they just give it a toggle switch, they can retain the hardcore competitive element if they want.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's just, to me, I'm just kind of like, oh, I know what show it's from. I just can't think of which of the 5 seasons. But does it matter? I know the show. But don't take that too seriously. That's just the words of a salty person who missed points.
Yeah, I feel you. I completely understand. But it is a very fun game. I think it's one of the cooler things that have been made.
I love it. If you haven't played Anime Music Quiz, go check it out. It's just a free browser game.
Especially if you love anime music.
Yeah, it's just, I said, if you love anime, you listen to anime OPs already, just go see if you test your knowledge. Connect to your MAL username. I think that works back.
Well, that's not working just yet. The API for them still hasn't worked, but they will let you do AniList, and you can easily export your MyAnimeList over there just to use it for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I did do, and I have been using AniList, by the way, normally. I might not even go back to MyAnimeList, because AniList is a really nice social platform.
Oh, okay.
To me, MyAnimeList reminds me of, like, Facebook, but kind of like a broken down version of Facebook. Not to say Facebook's perfect, but AniList reminds me a lot more of Twitter, and I'm actually more of a Twitter user than I am a Facebook user anyway. So yeah, and I think that they have a great UI and just a great situation in general for their users. To tell you the truth.
I'm so frustrated with this whole API issue with Mal.
Oh yeah, I don't even understand. So I'm just like, yeah,
I
whatever.
know it's much more complicated than I could imagine, but I'm just kind of like, we need to get this fixed and get the website restored.
Yeah, that would be nice. I know there's a lot of people that really just want to get back on there, and I hope for
Right.
them that they fix things soon enough. I know they just started letting people get access to their profiles again. So
I just get annoyed when I just can't do some simple function I've always done.
yeah, that's. I mean, you think you could do the simplest thing, and yet they're like, no, the whole site's broken, bro. You can't.
Mhm.
But but yeah, no, that's really all there is for me on video games. I aside from that, I watched for some reason. I have no idea why. I've never played a Fallout game. I've never played Elder Scrolls.
Really?
I've never played
I'd
any of them, and
recommend
yet,
Fallout.
yeah, I've wanted to try them. I just haven't. But for some reason, for like the past 3 years, I've watched Bethesda's E3 conference. I don't know why. It just so happens that that's the one that I'm just like not doing anything and it's on. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. And I watched that. I mean, some of their games look cool. I downloaded the Vault game or whatever on my Switch.
Oh,
I haven't played it
Fallout
yet.
Shelter, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I'll try it at some point. But that's really it for me with E3. Like I said, I'm not super big on video games. So my problem is I'd rather watch something than play something at this point. But that's just right now. That could always change.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Um. You know, even though you're not like super entrenched in video games or anything, I do think. Well, here's in a way you are though, because you talked about being a Pokemon YouTuber.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
So how big were you in that? Like,
My channel was not big,
Mm-hmm.
but I know people that I could, are friends that have massive channels or that work
That's
for
really
people
cool.
with really big channels. Like a lot of the people that I see, my forte was the cards. I collected the cards. I did unboxings.
Oh, okay.
Very seldom would I ever do anything game related, but I would occasionally.
Okay. Yeah, see, when I think Pokemon anymore, and it's because we've switched Nintendo, especially Switch fan base has only been talking about Pokemon until Smash came and took all the news.
Yeah, and then
That
eventually
being
next year
showed at E3.
when they show off the Gen 8 games, people will be,
Oh yeah.
talking about that for sure because I'm sure they're gonna look great. I mean, I think the new
Oh,
Pokemon
yeah.
games look nice too. I'm just not super.
It's
It's a little too much of a departure from the main thing for me to be like this is a must buy. I'm gonna get it. Without a doubt, I'm gonna get it at some point. I'm just not
calling a must
first
buy.
day. Yeah, I mean, because the past couple Pokemon games, I bought them, day one. But as a matter of fact, I bought the most recent one that came out on the 3DS, Ultra Sun, the
Okay.
night it came out, and then my 3DS broke the next day. So I played it for like 3 hours, and I haven't played it
that
again.
Sucks.
But yeah, and I didn't bother to go get a new one, and then obviously I have the Switch now. But yeah, I did Pokemon cards. I have a lot of associates and just friends that have in the hundreds of thousands of YouTube subscribers. A very very good friend of mine who I had met through the Pokemon community on YouTube in like late 2014, and we're still ridiculously good friends. We talk all the time now. He does script writing for some like big time Pokemon YouTubers that are very prominent, and it's really cool. And he does not script writing. I'm sorry. He does editing videos, and sometimes he'll write some scripts. But
that's
it's
really cool, and to be have that kind of connections.
yeah,
is-
I've got to meet a lot of amazing people through that. It's really incredible.
not many people can say that either.
Yeah, I've always found it to be weird that I met the amount of people I did because my channel never cracked even 600 subs. So it's incredible to me
Please,
that
I
I
think,
got to make the relationships that I did.
That's still, I mean, just to be in triple digits, I know considering YouTube's user base is absolutely massive, but to be in triple digits alone, that's cool. Many people will never get there.
Yeah, that's true, and I remember being so happy when I first got there, when I hit the 100 mark, and be like, yeah, it was fantastic. And that was 4.5 years ago too. I started doing my YouTube channel in December 2013,
Okay.
and that was a while ago, man. Jeez, I miss those days. But you know what? Pokemon cards are way too damn expensive,
Oh.
and I just don't. My quality could not keep up with the quality of those around me, so I just was like,
Right.
all right, I'll watch you guys from afar, and you have fun.
It takes a certain strength of character though to kind of like give up on something that you
Oh,
liked
for
a
sure.
lot, that
Yeah.
you loved, because you just kind of you have because you're right. There reaches a point where you're just kind of like, I don't have like the time or the energy for this.
Yeah, when
I'm
I
gonna
knew
keep
I hit my
enjoying it, but
plateau.
I don't have to keep doing this action.
Exactly. It's really, it's as simple as that. To tell you the truth, I loved it, and I still support my friends that do, put up that kind of content now, and some of them don't now that moved on to other things, and it's just really interesting. I've gotten to see a lot. I've gotten to meet a lot of good people. I've gotten to work with some great YouTubers, and it's just it's impressive, and it's a ton of fun. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I can always say that I created the largest collaboration in Pokemon YouTubing history.
Give us the
Myself
rundown
and
on that.
myself and I want to say like 60 some odd other people. We to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, we opened up a single pack of every single Pokemon trading card set to be released at the time, and we did it daily for about 2 months. And 2.5 months ish, and it was really cool. I got to work with a lot of people that like I'd admired or watched their videos and never got the chance to speak to before. You can find it somewhere on YouTube. If anybody's interested, you can just look up the Pokemon trading card game 20th anniversary collaboration. But I can always say that it was my idea, and I helped bring all those people together. And I can always say that CP Man version 2 created the biggest collaboration in Pokemon YouTubing history.
That's beyond impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, who would have thought? Because I certainly didn't when we started recording this in the prep and everything. That that our guest was not only a member of the production team here for the podcast, but is involved in professional wrestling. Was a Pokemon YouTuber with triple-digit subs. And on top
you making those triple-digit subs. You're really gassing me up on those triple-digit subs.
Coordinated the largest crossover they've had in that community.
Yeah, you'll never see something like that ever again. So I'm like really proud of what I was able to do.
You said you were boring.
I mean, ask me what I'm doing lately, and I'll tell you, and it's pretty freaking boring. I might have done some interesting stuff, but now.
Well, let me ask you this, because your name is very particular.
Yes.
What's the origin of the username? What did it come
from?
And all of these have been good stories so far, from both what you've said so far, but also Joe and Loss had really good answers to this. So I can only wonder how you will hit us with yet another whammy tonight.
Mine is extremely pedestrian. It's not going to be anything like theirs was. My running gag is that I say that the CP stands for cock/penis man.
Oh,
that's my running gag.
I didn't think it was that.
But that's not it. That's not what.
I'm not gonna say I had a guess as to what it was, but I can tell you it wasn't that.
Yeah, a lot of people, they think, a lot of people at their minds in the gutter, they always think that they know what CP stands for, and they always make the same joke, and then that's when I pull out the cock/penis, but that's not it. It stands for Cliffside Park, which is where I was born, in Cliffside Park, New Jersey, and when I was a little kid, I was like, I'll be CP Man, and for a while I abandoned it, and I became Fredomon, which was my YouTube. My last name is Fredo, by the way. And Pokemon, I mixed those together, and that was my YouTube channel. Okay. So I was Fredomon. But early last year-ish, I went back to being CP Man, and I became CP Man version 2, because it was like an upgrade. It was not the original CP Man anymore. I was CP Man version 2. But that's the very simple analysis of it. It's not super, it's very pedestrian.
There's something charming about that, though.
Really?
Because you kept the same name all the way from childhood.
Yeah, I did it since I was a little kid. I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I kept it for a long time.
Most people adopt their internet name after spending quite a bit of time on the internet already. And then finding that one name, they're kind of like, no, that's what I'm established as. That's what I'm going with. That's what all my new stuff's going to be.
Well, that's what I tried to do with the Fredomon name, because I figured I was going to do Pokemon on YouTube. My last name's Fredo. Might as well just put them together and then do. But then after a while, I was just like, you know what? I just want to be CP Man again. Mm-hmm. And I went back to this, and that's where we are now. I'm version 2, better than the original. Not like there was much to build on from the original. Not really super different, but whatever.
Hey, it has a different model number.
That's true. Very true.
And let it be known, I did not dox him or anything.
No,
If you find the Fredos in New Jersey, that's all.
you know what? Well, there's plenty. There's way too many of them in New Jersey anyway. They're all my family, but I mean, tell you the truth, I don't super care.
What is that?
You know
Italian?
what? You can. What? Italian? Like my last name?
Yeah.
It sounds that way, doesn't it? But it's not.
Well, no, but there's a ton of Italians in Jersey, and I know this is because the Jersey Shore has told me this, and I have no other credible source. I just don't have any credible source to back
Thank
that
God.
up.
Thank God. You know, I don't like going to the city. I don't like going into New York. But thank God I live up near it instead of down on the Jersey Shore, because I would not have a good time down there.
Do you think there's just a collective sigh of embarrassment when they hear the show Jersey Shore?
No, you know what? I know too many people that are proud of it. So.
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. If you find me, whatever, that's fine. Add me if you want. I don't care. Look, my Facebook profile's on my Discord. If you add me as a friend, you'll see it on my Discord.
I have avoided that like the plague.
Yeah, it's whatever. I more so did it just so I could be connected, so I could get people that might like join Discord on Facebook, so I can add them. But no. It's completely fine. Like, I've never been too worried about myself being on the internet because I'm not super duper anxious or afraid that someone's going to come to my house, because I'm like, well, if you came to my house, obviously you have a reason, but if you found me, I guess there was probably a reason why you were looking for me. What's going on?
I screwed up that bad.
But yeah, no,
sorry, I said that Pokemon game was better than the other.
Hey, look, man, I got a lot of people were very upset with me when I said that there was no real reason for them to remake Gen 3 outside of it just being on the DS, but whatever. I was a strong proprietor of them not doing that because I love Ruby and Sapphire so much. But I understood because they wanted to get every single generation playable on a DS.
Alpha
Sapphire and Omega Ruby.
Yeah, as I say, it's like and so that's just kind of like, oh, but now it's on 2 screens.
Yeah, because see, the thing was,
and also I'm sure it's upscaled model.
Obviously, the 3DS does not have a Game Boy port like the original DS did.
Right.
So my thoughts are just they wanted to give you a way to play every single generation on the DS, because obviously with Heart Gold Soul Silver, that's Gen 2. Well, yeah, 3DS. Okay. Obviously with Heart Gold Soul Silver, that's Gen 2, but you could go to Kanto in it afterward, like with the original Gold and Silver. So they had a way for you to go to every single region just playing on your DS. Up until, of course, now we're on the Switch, but that's the only reason I ever saw it was justified for them making a remake of that game. But But yeah, that's the origin of my name and some other stuff.
So, okay, last thing I want to ask you before we...
last thing? Oh, man, you sure you don't have like 150 more things to ask me?
So
this is the highlight of my day.
For the audience at home, I have about 2 lists I draw from. One is a general thing, and one is like me coming up with like special topics and everything, and then some of them are actually guest specific.
Okay.
This one, looking at these, and I'm just trying to think, okay, which one of these do I really want to ask him? Because we're approaching the time cutoff rapidly. Because we always want these to be about an hour. Tell me, we got into a little bit of a heated debate on the last one. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Subs versus dubs. Where do you stand?
All right. I don't hate anybody for watching, one or the other. I watch with subs. That's my primary way of doing it. I like to watch the original source material. I'd like to read the translations more so than hear translations, just so I can get an even better grasp on what exactly it is they're trying to say and do. I like to hear the original vocal performances as well. I might not be able to understand the Japanese, but that doesn't mean I can't read someone's voice. So it's a lot more interesting to me and a lot more engaging to watch it with subs. However, shonen anime, I will only watch dub.
Really? What's specific as to shonen as to make you say, oh, no.
Because I want to pay attention to the action as much as possible.
Okay.
So, and
that's
usually
a good reasoning. It's a visual medium after all.
Yeah. Usually, when it comes to dubbed shonen, I mean, nowadays anyway, you're gonna get pretty similar performances to the Japanese anyway.
That's what we were talking about. Is we're kind of like, in the olden days, it made a lot of sense because this was a very niche, low budget thing. But nowadays, you have big companies behind them who are interested in saying, hey, if I can get this in whatever language I need to localize this in, depending on where you are in the world. Um, there's money to be made here if we get this out streaming, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like Funimation, you can say what you want about them and their business practices, but they've done a really good job putting together a good hub for dubs. No pun intended.
And as I said, I'm a dub guy, so I do watch.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You can enjoy your dubs, man. It's it's fine.
It's just like I think it. No, I don't have any problem with it.
I just hope that with someone like you who likes dubs, that you wouldn't let yourself be limited and miss out on some really good shows that might never get a dub.
You know, if I have thought about that in my head before, just kind of like, and I figure if a show is really, really that much there, the least I can do is try it.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff that I know will never get dubbed that just is so good. Oreguru is probably the number one thing I could ever say. I don't know why that hasn't been dubbed. To tell you the truth, I would expect that to have been dubbed, but it hasn't. You know? And they dubbed Toradora. I don't know why they wouldn't dub Golden Time. But
yeah, that's surprising. And I'm not shilling for either dub or sub or anything like that. It's just an interesting topic just because it's the endless debate in anime, you know?
Yeah, of course. There's gonna be people to the end of time debating over that.
Oh yeah. We could 1,000 years from now, there could be some grand high council that decides important things like these.
Yeah, of course.
They'll make their landmark decision, and then someone's gonna say, not so fast." Let me tell you why you're not just completely, but dead wrong.
That's probably gonna be something that might happen.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that Golden Time. Just because it's kind of like
it's weird. That's one of the weirder ones for me.
But not Golden Time, and those are around the same time, aren't they?
Well, Golden Time came out 6 years after Toradora, so it is a little later. But when I think about a show like Haganai getting an English dub, I'm like, so you'll dub Haganai, this like ecchi as fuck show that's like a weak version of a lot of different animes that I've watched with that same premise. But like you wouldn't dub something like Golden Time, and I love Golden Time. I look forward to talking about Golden Time in the future because I'm a massive Golden Time White Knight apologist. I will defend it until the end of time, and I know just in the Toradora server alone, I know I've come across people that say it sucks or they don't like it. I don't like the end of it, blah blah blah, whatever. Look, I love Golden. You know what? Real quick, I don't want to step on your toes because we're coming to an end here, but my top 10 favorite anime are number 10. Is Cowboy Bebop. Number 9 is Dragon Ball. Number 8 is The Beautiful Bones, Sakurako So's Investigation. Number 6 is Psychono. Number 8 is you know the pet girl of Sakura So? Have you heard of that?
I believe I have, actually.
That's number 8. Number 7 is Sakurako-san and The Beautiful Bones. Number 6 is Psychono. 5 is Golden Time. And then Dragon Ball Z, Toradora, Oreguru, and Steins Gate. So I love Golden Time. I love Golden Time so much. It's in my top 5 favorite anime. And I also really love Psychono. So the fact that it's ahead of Psychono should tell you something.
I have heard you talk about Psychono before, actually, and you do really like that. I think we were playing AMQ, and you were telling me about it. What we ought to do in a future episode is you ought to take control of like a segment or a whole episode even. And just do like a breakdown of Golden Time versus Toradora. You might actually, it may not even be suited for a podcast just because you might want to show footage,
that's
of
like
course. But
that's
kind of really cool special episode to do, I think.
That's some rough stuff right there. Actually, I don't know. That might be. I don't know how I'd like the response to that. Because obviously, I like Toradora more. But there's definitely things that Golden Time does in a stronger way, which might rub people the wrong way. But there's definitely things that Golden Time does in a stronger way.
Though, and if you can back it up,
I would totally not mind doing that.
All they got is an opinion on you.
That's true. That's very true. That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, and my advice would be, if you want to, because here's the thing: we started the podcast just because we said, hey, we can do this, and we can have fun doing it. And
for sure. This has been a barrel of monkeys, if you ask me.
Nothing, I've really enjoyed this. It's fun. It's fun. And I think, hey, if you got the time to put, because that'd be a pretty hard thing to put all together, all different footage. And
and I am so inept at editing. Like it would take quadruple the amount of time for me just to figure out how to like splice some audio with a video. Okay, you know.
But it could be a fun thing to do. You should consider it. It might be worth learning.
Maybe
a good software, something like Shotcut, maybe, because that's easy to work with multiple tracks. But yeah, I think so. Well, do you have any final thoughts or shout-outs you want to give?
I mean, shout out to everyone that's given this podcast a listen. To everybody I've talked to in the server before. This is CP Man version 2. I'm not all Minori smug and Let's Play AMQ. There's a little bit more to it, but not a lot. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. I look forward to joining Dark or Loss or both of them in the future on other podcasts. I really want to be here for when Shin gets on the podcast. I really want to. I will make the time without a doubt. I want to talk to Shin and have it be recorded. But no, that's really all it is. Just thank you guys so much for helping make this possible and just enjoying it and giving it watches. And I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And again, I'm sorry that I'm kind of pedestrian, but whatever.
Oh no, CP Man, you were fantastic. I think this episode's gonna be really well received, especially with just learning about you. And that's the fun thing about these interviews is I know we all the active users have a pretty good idea
we all talk and whatnot.
But I learned more about you now than I had before.
That's going to be the absolute best part. We can all talk to each other, but there's only so much that we know outside of like the same several topics that might come up, or I really hope to have Hip on here one day. I really do. Because I'd like to see more past the man of cute things, Junibio and Mo. I really look forward to that.
Yeah, and I said, I'm in total agreement with you. It's like, thank you guys, everyone watching, and just making this a success. We love doing this, and we'd love to have you on. If you want to be on, let one of us know. Me, CP, or Loss. Let us know, and we are happy to get you on an episode, and we're happy to get you and other people on in the same episode too. More people is just funner discussions, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, and you seem to be doing a very good job of keeping things organized. So I'm sure you wouldn't have too much of a problem juggling a couple people as well. No problem.
Well, thanks everybody for watching. On our next episode, I believe we should have Shin next, if that's what we have on the schedule, and provided everything works out, nothing unforeseen circumstances just get in the way of that, we should have Shin on next episode, and I hope CP Man will join us again, because that's going to be the showdown of the ages, I think. Oh,
I definitely want to be on with Shin. No, there's without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to make time, and I'm going to be here.
I look forward to it personally. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Well, everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.